Okay, now I may have understood why they kept the projector aimed higher up. Because now it's in my face. So, I'll move here. Alright guys, thank you all so much for coming today to the first installation of Webmakers Picnic. It's a bit of a random name, but well, whatever. So my name is Bash. I am mostly a front-end developer and I've mostly worked with React for about, I don't know, over 3 years now. I started learning React when I built my own app in React Native, and since then, you know, I really kind of loved it, so I stuck with it. And I worked in other languages as well, but at this point, you know, I'm just the guy who complains about JavaScript every chance he gets while still working with JavaScript. So yeah.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Wojta. I'm a full stack developer working with Java, Angular mainly. I always wanted to have my own meetup, so now it happens. So that's great. Thank you for coming.
Alright, so as to how we came up with the idea of starting this, it all began at ReactiveConf. This is from ReactiveConf 2 years ago actually, when Voice and I were both volunteers at the conference, because you know both of us were not going to pay that money to be for the ticket, so we were like, yeah, let's get a free ticket, you know, just sneak in. And yeah, so we met for the first time there, had a really good time, and then for the last year as well, in 2019, we decided to go again, and this time none of us were volunteers actually. Wojta came by himself, and I was going with my company as well. So what really came to our mind at the time was, you know, like what I really liked about this conference was all the conversations that you had with the people, right? Like just the two of us, you know, the talks were going on in the stage, but we were talking for like hours on end about React, about, you know, development, how work is going and so on. Like we completely lost track of like what was going on the conference. And it's to be honest, it's not a feeling that I usually have, that I'm able to talk about my work, to be honest, because a lot of people are also non-technical, so it's very hard to be able to talk about such things as well. So it was really refreshing to be able to talk about such things, and we thought, like, you know, why do you need to pay 800 euros to be at this conference just to be able to talk about this kind of stuff? So that was the incentive behind it. So we thought, yeah, well, you know, maybe we could go meet up. So we met up, we met up to like talk things over, and after like a short chat, we decided to, you know, start this meetup and also call it like the Webmakers Picnic for some reason.
This is us preparing this very first session in some tea room.
Yeah,
it's not just random picture. It's history of this.
There is some, you know, history behind it. Yeah. So yeah. So essentially, the ethos is that, you know, right now when society thinks of a developer, this is kind of the image they get. You know, a lonely guy by himself in front of a laptop or computer, and it's all like always dark. You know, it's never bright. It's always dark.
In the basement.
You know, also in a basement. And you know, it's like development or software development is seen to some extent as an individual activity. It's seen as something that one person does by him or herself. And you know, it's kind of strange, to be honest, because when you think about software development, almost everything, every major technology, framework, language, or whatever is built by a team. Like every single major language, framework, it was all built mostly by the open source community, and it's just, you know, not one person. It's always a group of people working together. So it seems ironic that a group of people build stuff, but then you learn it one by one, like individually. Usually you would not learn such frameworks or stuff like as a group. It's like, yeah, go learn it, and then you go into a corner and you learn it. So what if, you know, you were able to learn as a group as well, you know, because at the way things are going right now, there's so many new things coming out. You can never be expected to be at the top of your game and like know everything. There's so many new things coming out, so why not learn all this together? So that is why we came up with the idea of a picnic. Okay, the image is cropped. So the idea of a picnic is that you show up with whatever food you have, you keep it on the mat, and then you all have a shared meal together. And that is kind of like what we would really like to do with this meetup as well. It's where, all of us would have our own specialty, or like, something that we are really into. And we come with whatever we know, and we put it on the table, we share with each other, and then all of us, get the whole table and not just the portion that we are bringing to the table. So that is kind of like the reason, and we wanted to be, and the reason behind picnic was we wanted it to be like approachable. Like, it seemed like, coming up here and presenting is usually seen as like a very scary thing to do. And again, the image of typical developers is that, yeah, these are the antisocial guys or girls like in the corner, and it's like maybe it can be different, maybe it just can be, yeah, I'm really excited about something, I really want to talk about it, so talk about it. It doesn't have to be scary. So that's why we named it specifically picnic as well. With the idea that it doesn't have to be scary.
So, as Bishop already mentioned, this is basically mostly about learning, right? And these days, there is a really lot of stuff going on in software development. So, front-end development, it's like crazy, right? There is new JavaScript framework every week, and every week, like 2 JavaScript frameworks cease to exist. So there is this thing called JavaScript fatigue, if you know. So basically, like, people are just fed up with all the changes happening, and because it's like way too fast. And if you are thinking about like full stack development, like doing backend and frontend, like both of it, it's even crazier. Like, it's a lot of stuff. So I don't know about you, but I have this like learning list of all the topics which I still would like to learn. Some spreadsheet or whatever, and it's growing. Basically, it rarely shrinks, and it's getting longer and longer. And it's basically like with New Year's resolutions, right? I mean, it's kind of nice first week of the year, or maybe the second, and then kind of it gets uglier, and after that, basically, maybe there's just one thing you manage to accomplish. So this is a great way to learn new things and kind of make this to-do list short.
Essentially, like, get off your ass and do something with it. If you have to like present something like we did, you have to really find out and then prepare yourself for it, and in the process you actually get stuff done. It's not on a list somewhere. You have to like, it kind of adds like some extra motivation to like get stuff done, I guess.
Yeah, but basically what this means that we would like to have like as many of you as possible actually involved in this, like maybe speak here if possible, maybe start with something small like a lightning talk for just 5 minutes or something. It doesn't have to be that big, but actually the best way to learn something is to teach it, right? Because you will make sure that you learn a lot about it, because then people start asking nasty questions, and yeah, we want to avoid that. Great. So this is how we are better than the other meetups. What that actually means is that part of our philosophy was, if you look right in the small basket of like plain ugly apples, it's basically meetups are usually kind of niched down, right? They are focused on some specific framework, maybe on some niche technology, and it may be great, but I think it's way more valuable to actually be exposed to much broader spectrum of things and technologies. So that's why we have like various kinds of delicious fruit, not only apples, but pretty much, well, the idea is to be kind of technology agnostic, to focus on more things.
Like, the assumption is that, if you find something exciting, it's very likely some others who are like you would also find it exciting, even though it might not strictly be in the same vertical as you.
Yeah, the other thing, we are not actually, as usual, meetups sponsored by any company, so we don't have any of the corporate bullshit here, like companies trying to present themselves, hiring free pizza. We don't have any of this.
Why?
So because we have to pay everything ourselves.
You spent a half an a day with hiring today.
Yeah, I'm hiring a lot of work, so the last thing I want to do here is hiring actually.
We'll be hired.
So this should be kind of safe harbor from all the aggressive recruiters here. We don't have any hidden agenda. We don't want to recruit you for our company or build a brand or anything. It's just about the community.
That's what somebody hiring would say.
And now our sponsors. No, actually, what would be really nice. I mentioned that this is about community, so it's not about like just us. We would like to know more about you, like what you actually do, what's your like level in software development, so we can kind of tailor more our future meetups to our audience actually, because we do expect that you will come the next time. So there is, if you could visit this link, that would be great. There is kind of short survey.
Shall we show the results right now?
Results? You mean the questions?
Like, because
Like
it
in
has
real
the,
time?
yeah.
We can. Okay.
Make
So,
Make a QR code next time.
oh, that's a good point actually.
Fair
Always
enough.
learning.
Yeah. Okay. Lesson number 2 or 10. Then. We made some mistakes already, but yeah, noted.
Yeah. Cool.
So actually, why don't
So
we
it-
fill this
it-
out right now? We'll have like maybe 5 minutes and just
Yeah.
fill it out right now and see.
Who is ready with it? You can grab a beer or something.